My last job before I came to GW, I was at NFL Films. And prior to that, I was actually working for Sony Broadcasting. And what I had done was I had been part of a team that traveled around the country for Sony, convincing them that they should stop using film and they should start using video for training camps. And so I went to every owner of every team, brought in a whole Sony, the very first Betacam #1, brought in the first 2 models, demoed them for all the teams, you know, showed it to the players, showed them how they could use them in place of film and how quick and easy video was compared to film and the processing and whatever. Basically sold the league. And so I was married at the time and living out in California and out there working for Sony and flying back to the East Coast to do these demos and stuff. Well, then my husband's job got transferred, and so we were considering moving to the East Coast. So I said, okay, sure, why not? So when I came back to the East Coast, I went to one of my organizational meetings for engineers. And they were like, oh, well, we can't believe you're back on the East Coast. Guess what? There's a job that might fit you perfectly, you know, and it didn't even exist yet. But why don't you go talk to this guy? He's thinking of hiring a video engineer because they're thinking of moving into video. Well, it turned out it was Ed Sable, head of NFL Films. And so it's like, oh my God, you're awesome. You're hired. Because I demoed, you know, for the whole league. I mean, he knew who I was, and I did a great job, so that was great. So that was really cool. So I slid into that job, just a piece of cake. It was awesome, and that was really fun. It was really fun and very different being at NFL Films. I was probably the only person there who wasn't a football crazy person, so I was a little different. You know, they're like, what's your favorite team? And I'd be like, well, if you're talking soccer, I could tell you, because I grew up overseas. I'm like, you mean American football? So I was a little bit out of my element, but you know, the job was the job, and I could do the video part and all of that, and it was really fun. And then they, interestingly enough, they ended up actually expanding completely into video over the 3 years that I was there. We transformed the entire production thing. They barely did any film at all by the time I left, and so that was a very successful transition. And we basically built. That was the first big studios and stuff that I helped design and build. I built the whole video building and all the stuff that they did for NFL Films back in the 80s. And now, you know, the rest is history. That just took off, and, you know, that's their franchise is really all about video now. But it was great. It was fun.